You think you're selling your Florida home for $410,000. You're not. After paying the closing costs and commissions, you're walking away with closer to $369,000. That's $41,000 enough to buy a brand new boat or funding up to 4 years of in-state college tuition. Poof, just gone. And the worst part? Most sellers don't find out until they're already sitting at the closing table. But here's the thing. What if you did not have to lose that much? With a flat fee MLS listing, some sellers are keeping an extra $10,000 to $15,000 in their pocket. We'll show you exactly how at the end. But first, let's break down where every dollar goes. Here's the basic breakdown. In Florida, closing costs don't mess around. Sellers are typically looking at 6% to 10% of their sale price. On the state's median home price of $410,000, that's $24,000 to $41,000. That's not pocket change. That's enough to cover the full down payment on a brand new Chevy Tahoe or Ford F-150. And still have money left over. Buyers aren't exempt either. They're typically looking at 2% to 5%. Which works out to $8,000 to $20,000 on that same home. But the seller? The seller feels this the most. Seller closing costs? This is where it really hurts. The single biggest hit? Agent commissions, around 5% to 6%. On a $410,000 home, that's $20,000 to $24,600 for one transaction. Following that, there's the Florida documentary stamp tax, 70 cents per $100 of sale price. On a $410,000 home, that's $2,870. Non-negotiable. It's state law. Miami-Dade gets a slight break at 60 cents per $100 for single-family homes. Small win, but we'll take it. Then title insurance. In most Florida counties, the seller pays. But in Sarasota, Collier, Miami-Dade, and Broward, that flips to the buyer. Because Florida loves keeping everyone guessing. Attorney fees are optional here, but if you hire one, budget $750 to $1,250. On a $410,000 home, seller closing costs add up to roughly $23,620 to $28,720. How to save on closing costs? Now here's where it gets interesting. Instead of paying a listing agent 2.5% to 3%, sellers can list on the MLS through Houzeo for just $299 flat, plus 0.5% at closing. That's it. Same MLS exposure, same reach, fraction of the cost. On that $410,000 home, you're saving up to $12,000 on commission alone. That's a renovation or maybe even a vacation. And after the NAR settlement, sellers aren't even required to cover the buyer's agent anymore. So you could save another 2.5% to 3% on top of that. Buyer closing costs. Let's start with the buyer's side. Here's the thing. Buyers don't just write one check. They write a whole stack of them before they even get the keys. Loan origination fees eat 0.5% to 1% of your loan amount right off the top. Add a $650 appraisal. A home inspection is around $400. A termite check, because it's Florida, would be another $75 to $400. Survey, $275. Credit report, up to $100. Recording fee technically starts at $10, but those pages add up fast. On top of that, if you're going USDA, there's a 1% upfront guarantee fee. FHA buyers are paying a mortgage insurance premium too. It's like the mortgage has a whole entourage that also wants to get paid. Now that you know what closing costs look like, you just have to find the home first. That's where Houzeo makes the process easier. The Houzeo mobile app browses 1.5 million plus listings on a live, interactive map. You can filter by price, beds, baths, HOA cap, days on market, and many more. The days on market filter alone is a cheat code. If a home is sitting on the market for weeks, you get to negotiate better. Find a listing you like? Tap in. Scroll through over 30 photos. Even better, drop into Street View and check the neighborhood, all before you even set a foot inside. And when you're ready, you can schedule a showing, make an offer, or just contact an agent right from the same page. No extra payments, no middlemen. Subscribe to How to Houzeo for more tips and tricks, and download the Houzeo app, link in the description.